What if I told you banks are trying to ban your crypto rewards, and the White House is backing them? Everyone is going crazy over the rumor that the White House is ending support for the crypto market structure bill. Traditional banks don't want crypto companies to pay interest or rewards on stablecoins. They fear people will move money out of regular bank accounts where banks use it to lend and profit into crypto stablecoins that pay yield. Crypto leaders like Coinbase say, let people earn rewards, it's fair competition, and helps everyday users. Banks say it creates an unfair loophole. On January 14th, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong posted on X that his company could not support the current bill draft. He listed problems. It basically bans tokenized stocks, limits DeFi, and hurts privacy. It stops rewards on stablecoins, letting banks block competition. He said, "We'd rather have no bill than a bad one." Because of Coinbase action, the Senate Banking Committee canceled a key vote the next day. The bill got delayed, and he went all out against banks live on Fox.
Got the Genius Act passed into law, which actually did enable stablecoin rewards to happen. The banks had their own concerns, and we reached a good outcome in the Genius Act. And now the banks really are coming and trying to undermine the president's crypto agenda. I mean, these are the same banks that, debanked him and his family, right? And they want to come in and say that Americans should not be able to actually earn more money on their money. They're trying to protect their own profit margins, taking money out of the pockets of hardworking average Americans and putting it into the coffers of these big banks that are hitting record profits. And so our view is that there should be a level playing field where banks and crypto companies can lean into stablecoin legislation as an opportunity, and that includes paying rewards to Americans so that they can earn more money on their money.
Eleanor Terrett is a journalist who closely follows U.S. crypto regulation. According to her sources, the White House was upset with Coinbase's move, calling it a surprise rug pull. They reportedly considered dropping support unless Coinbase and banks could agree on yield rules. A few minutes ago, Brian Armstrong replied directly to the report, saying it was inaccurate. The White House has been helpful and constructive. They are asking Coinbase to talk with banks and find a deal on yield. Coinbase is doing that now, working on ideas to help small local banks within the bill. According to current news, Coinbase is still negotiating with banks to resolve the yield issue. The goal is a better bill that provides clear rules for crypto while protecting innovation and users. Many in crypto hope for a good deal soon under the current administration, bringing long-awaited clarity. This highlights the challenge of balancing traditional banking rules with new crypto technology. DeFi yields are far more beneficial to people than what banks offer. Everyone wants U.S. crypto to grow, but banks don't want to lose profits. U.S. economy shows signs of rapid disinflation under Trump administration. In recent days, social media has been very active about this because indicators have pointed to a sharp decline in U.S. inflation rates, potentially paving the way for Federal Reserve policy shifts. This shows us real-time inflation data and consumer price drops, highlighting a broader economic trend. Inflation falls to 1.56% according to real-time metrics. Triflation is a real-time inflation tracker that aggregates millions of data points daily. With inflation this low, Fed Chair Jerome Powell has little excuse to delay interest rate cuts. The official Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index is lagging by a month and currently stands at 2.7%, with triflation's up-to-the-minute figure of 1.56%. Historically, triflation has been a leading indicator predicting the 2021 inflation surge months before official data caught up. Now it's signaling the opposite, disinflation accelerating, driven by falling housing and goods prices. This divergence implies the Fed may be relying on outdated information, as they does. With economic weakness evident, such as ISM manufacturing below 50 and rising bankruptcies, this year we could see aggressive easing with rate cuts, and we are already seeing liquidity boosts. President Trump has pushed hard for the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates to help the economy grow. Egg prices give us a real-world way to see how inflation is changing. They have gone down by about 95% in some measures. Real-time data, like that from Truflation, shows inflation is already very low and suggests the official CPI number could soon fall below 2%. This puts more pressure on the Fed to start cutting rates. For everyday people, cheaper essentials like eggs mean real relief at the grocery store. At the same time, markets are expecting easier money from the Fed, which could help stocks and other investments. Economic numbers can change quickly, but the trend toward much lower interest rates looks strong right now. Bitcoin never breaks back above the 50-week moving average and the 365-day moving average during bear markets. As per CryptoQuant, Bitcoin is approaching the 365-day moving average near $101,000, a key level that rejected the 2022 bear market rally. Price has not yet reclaimed this long-term MA, indicating a bearish market. These two moving averages are going to be major confirmations of the bear market. Even though inflation goes lower and we have possibilities for huge rate cuts this year, if we see the Fed hold rate cuts till Q4 of this year, I'm not going to be surprised by that. We might not see more rates till a new Fed chair and a few new members. Make sure to watch out for these 2T moves too same as fundamental.